Hey guys, I hope everyone is staying safe and is healthy and is hopefully quarantined with a dog or a interesting roommate or maybe some parents that can cook. I don't know. I don't have anyone cooking for me. That's what I know. But yeah, no, I hope everyone is doing well and is safe and is doing what they need to get through this difficult time. I think as marketers, I appreciated reading a lot of your assignments as far as the COVID situation. It's a really interesting time for us as marketers, and truly the success of brands and of businesses is going to be determined by throwing out the old playbook. Even if we get back to normal in the next couple of weeks or, the next couple of months or God forbid next year, we're not going to go back to a totally new or a totally normal situation. It's going to be a new situation. There's going to be things that have influenced our experiences. So us as marketers throwing out that playbook, determining who we should be and, adapting and kind of morphing based on those trends, based on what we're seeing is going to be, I think, the make or break between companies and even leaders within organizations as well. We're certainly seeing it in my clients of true leaders really stepping up and taking care of their employees, taking care of their customers and consumers and audiences. So it's a really interesting time from a marketing perspective as well as just being locked in a house. So to take a little bit of a step back after doing all of the assessments for the midterm, it became clear to me that we need to talk about a couple of different things. There's a little bit of confusion between the delineation of content marketing and social media and content marketing and advertising. So that's one thing that I want to do for this first assignment before getting into the key performance indicators, the KPIs, is to talk a little bit about that differentiation. So the first thing is the difference between content marketing and social media. So social media is a great place to reach your end audience, right? So it's a great place to engage with them on a platform, especially right now that people are consuming content, right? But it's not usually that center of gravity. It's not usually the center, the hub, the place where you're actually posting the content. Typically, the content would be posted on your website or somewhere that's owned, right? Because the social media page is actually something that's rented. So that is, a property that you don't own. Someday, Facebook could just get shut down. We've seen it in the past with algorithms changing and all of a sudden organic reach just plummets. That is not an audience that you own. So you may think and you get a kind of false sense of security that you actually, have total control over that audience, and you don't. So it's important to look at that as a very critical distribution tool for your content, but not necessarily the focus and the hub of your content plan. So it should start somewhere that you actually own. So it should start on potentially a podcast that's distributed across, multiple different categories. It might be something like a blog that you have. It might be your website. It might be an owned app that you have, something that you actually can control 100%. And then you use social media as a strategic distribution tool of that content, a repurposed version of that content. So you might have an article that might have some great photos in it that you're going to use some of that photography in your Instagram feed, but it's not necessarily the focus and the hub of your content strategy. Please let me know if you have any questions on that, because that's definitely been something that I've been seeing across the board. Is the focus is just on one social media platform and growing that audience versus it being on a true content marketing plan. The second confusion comes into play when looking at advertising versus content marketing. So advertising is an outbound marketing strategy, whereas content marketing is an inbound marketing strategy. So outbound marketing, if you think about it, is like taking a megaphone and shouting from the rooftops and saying, you need to look at this product, we're great, look at these attributes, it's safe, it's wonderful, it's, all of this great stuff, which might be very, very true. but you're basically shouting it to an audience that you don't even know if they're receptive to it or not. You don't know how they're engaging with it. You're paying for the space typically, and that is not a content marketing plan. Content marketing is an inbound marketing strategy. Inbound marketing is something that you think of like a magnet, right? So things are coming towards you, okay? So you're creating content that is of such value that your audience is drawn to you, that wants to go to your website, that frequents your blog, that subscribes to your podcast, that downloads your app, right? They want your content and rely on your content because you are filling a value for them in their lives. You've come to that content sweet spot that talks about things that we want to publish, and it marries it up with something that the consumer actually wants, and it reaches that point between that intersection between that sweet spot for content specifically, not for advertising, not for social, not for products as well. So we're not developing a new product line based on, this kind of sweet spot that we've identified. It's about specifically the content. So that's videos, again, that's blog posts, could be even music. It could be, written pieces. It could be, anything that's content development, but not products. It's not placing ads. It's not doing just social media. Those are not content marketing elements. They can be part of your promotional and distribution plan for the content that you create, but it's not actually your content marketing strategy. I hope that makes sense. We're going to have a couple of different articles to reflect on that I hope will resonate with you guys and maybe give you a different voice and a different way to articulate those differences. And then I will be posting some additional content tomorrow as well for the courses so that we can start to talk about the KPIs. And I would also like to schedule, I had mentioned this last week, but I'm going to send a message out with a calendar to be able to schedule some time with me for a Zoom call. I think that's important at this point. So I hope you guys are, again, staying safe, staying sane. Extroverts that are locked inside of a house, it's sometimes hard. I know myself, I've been having Zoom calls basically all day, every day. So I don't think anything has changed from that end. But so certainly reach out if you have any questions. But I hope that that's clear, those delineations between advertising and social media, because I know that can be certainly a confusion. All right, take care and reach out with any questions.